Evening. Welcome to the Mind of STEM channel, where you get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm your host, Leon Jones, and I hope you've been enjoying this series. The first video I did, I talked about critical infrastructure. Then I went into statistical process control. And thirdly, I did the disciplines and sub-disciplines within the field of engineering. And this fourth video I'm going to do is for individuals who are coding fanatics. And I'm talking about individuals who are involved in computer science, because that is where all of your hardware is developed. This is where you get C++, Python, Visual Basic. This is where you get everything when it comes to figuring out a math problem. But you have to know how to compile a program to make sure that there are no errors. So the title of this fourth and final video is what is computer programming? What is computer programming? Very important that you understand what computer programming is, because when it comes to computer programming, as I share my screen here, computer programming deals with language. So there's going to be coding involved. But when we deal with computer programming, one must ask, well, why do we use it? What is it? Well, simply put, programming is giving a set of instructions to a computer to execute. And here's an example that'll help you figure this out. If you've ever cooked using a recipe before, you can think of yourself as the computer and the recipe's author as a programmer. And why is that? Because the recipe author provides you with a set of instructions which you read and then follow. Now, the more complex the instructions, the more complex you'll find the result. Now, when it comes to computer programming languages, they're basically the tools that we use to write instructions for computers to follow. Remember something, a computer is a machine. And something else you have to remember, computers think in binary. Binary is usually in terms of zeros and ones. Again, the strings of ones and zeros in programs allow us to translate those binary numbers into something that we can understand and write. Because a programming language is made up of a set of symbols that serves as a bridge that allows humans to translate thoughts into instructions that computers can understand. Now, when we deal with programming, there's low-level versus high-level programming languages. Now, programming languages, as you know, fall into two different classifications. I just mentioned them, low and high level. Now, when it comes to low-level programming languages are closer to machine code or binary. Therefore, they're more difficult for humans to read, although they're easier to understand more than they are. Although they're easier to understand than ones and zeros, the benefit of low-level languages is that they're fast and offer precise control over how the computer will function. As with high-level programming languages, they're basically closer to how we communicate. So high-level languages use words like object, order, run, class, request. They're closer to the words that we use in our everyday lives. So this means they're easier to program than in low-level programming languages, although they do take more time to translate into machine code for the computer. Now, the good news is when it comes to computers, they've become more powerful. So the difference in runtime between low-level and high-level programming is often only in milliseconds. So as a result, high-level languages do the trick in most scenarios. So now, with all that being said, some might ask, what are the most popular languages? Now, some of the old languages that were out before, Pascal, Fortran, BASIC, although they still exist, they don't use them as much. But there's still programming languages out there that we know. And these programming languages do different things. They can create video games. And there's even programming languages that consist entirely of emojis. So what I'm going to do is give you a brief overview of some of these languages. First, there's Python. Python is a versatile general purpose programming language that can be used in a variety of fields, from data science and machine learning to web development, and it's a great first language to learn. Another language is Java, and that's also good when you're starting out in programming. Java can be used for many things, including mobile applications, software development, and large systems development. AP Computer Science is currently taught in Java. Then you have JavaScript. Now, JavaScript is a front-end and back-end friendly language that enables web applications, game development, and mobile applications. Then there's C#. C# is popular when it comes to Microsoft's programming language, and it can be used for a variety of applications, including game development, enterprise software, video games, mobile apps, and more. And one of the most powerful languages that we all have heard of is C++, and it's used in a variety of industries, including VR software, game development, robotics, and scientific computing. You also have PHP, and it is a widely used server-side language. So PHP is a widely used server-side language. Why? Because it's a great choice if you're interested in building dynamic web applications, and it works with databases and HTML. Then you have R. R is a statistical programming language that's popular amongst data scientists. It's used for answering questions with data analysis and creating data visualizations. Then, if you are an Apple fan, there's Swift. Swift is Apple's programming language, and it is a must if you plan to develop applications for iOS. If you don't know what iOS is, that's what's inside your iPhones, and Mac OS, that's what's inside your Mac computers. And then you have Kotlin. Kotlin is an open source programming language developed by JetBrains. It's popular for web development, Android, and more. And of course, you have different operating systems as well. You have, I just mentioned Mac, iOS, Android. Well, there's, of course, Windows, and there's Linux. Now, again, when it comes to computer programming is divided into low-level and high-level program languages. And simply put again, programming is basically setting up a set of instructions for the computer to execute. And what I mean by executing, when you go through computer code, you want to go ahead and compile it. Now, some individuals will ask, well, why doesn't my program work? Because there are a lot of errors. In C++ and C, there's a lot of forward slashes that are used. And if you are missing a forward slash, or if you're missing an operation like an asterisk, you're going to come up with errors. Now, one asterisk or one forward slash can cause errors in your whole program. And when it comes to coding, programmers must be able to compile their program in order for it to work. Again, computer programming can be difficult if you're not used to doing it. And usually, when it comes to computers, like I explained before, they think in terms of binary, zeros and ones. Now, it's funny that some people ask about zeros and ones. When you do matrices, find row reductions, you want all your numbers to cancel to give you zeros and ones. If I'm doing a system of 3 equations and I'm trying to find X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to go through what we call RREF, which is a row reduction formula to try to get zeros and ones. And zeros and ones are often utilized in computers because computers are binary. And that concludes this topic in what is programming languages. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in computer science, I would start out in high school, then go to your local community college, because computer science is a good field. It can lead you into computer engineering. It can also lead you into IT. It can lead you into management information systems. But computer programming is always here to stay because you're utilizing artificial intelligence, machine language, scatter plots. They all come from computer programming. And if you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want more content when it comes to social issues and politics, check the 401 Talk Zone radio show out on Blog Talk Radio and, of course, YouTube. Now, if you can't find the Mind of STEM or the 401 Talk Zone radio show on YouTube, simply check me out on Twitter, we, and, of course, Parler. But again, thank you for viewing this 4-video series. Again, check out the first one that I did on critical infrastructure. And we deal with SPC, statistical process control. Thirdly, I did the disciplines of engineering. And here in the 4th video, talk about computer languages. And once again, thank you for listening to the Mind of STEM channel. On this channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.